14th of
Okay.
July, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
All right. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Baruch Hashem. Okay, so everybody got the place that we're holding. Um, let's see. Where's the Gemara? The Gemara is not here. Oh, so I'm gonna go get my Gemara and see where we're holding. Yeah. Okay. I've just been having a little bit of oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. Baruch Hashem. Okay, just all right. So okay, so we are yeah. Yeah, where are we? We are
Kaf Hamid base.
off on the base. That's right. That's where we are. Okay. Okay. Don't know exactly where we are. Um, we learned yesterday. Right. So it shouldn't be so hard to figure out where we are. Well, a lot has happened since then.
According to what I see, we're at my Machriz. It's in the middle of the page.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what we did yesterday. My Machris.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to start from there?
Yeah. My Machriz. What does the finder announce? Minyan, the number of documents. My Irya Talasa. If so, why does the Mishnah discuss a case of 3 documents? Afilu tarain nami. Even if 2 documents are found, they may also be announced and identified by the Mishnah's method. Ella, rather, Kid Amar Ravina, as stated by Ravina, Tiva Machriz. If the finder announces that he found coins, Hakinami, here too, Shtare Machriz. I see. Just as if he found coins, he announces, "I found coins," and then let the claimant say how many. So here too, he should announce he found documents, and let the claimant say how many.
Okay. Yo,
Yeah.
let's see. We got Rashi here. My Machriz.
We did all these already. We're going back.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So
What does he announce? Hamotze, the finder. What does he announce? He announces the minyan, the amount, the number of them. Gimel star, 3 documents. The zeba. This one comes, Benotain Simon, and he gives a simon, shekorchim, for you, that they were wrapped up, they were bundled, yachad, together. So that's the simon, the way he bundles them together.
Sorry, I'll be with you soon.
What?
Okay, so the Gemora's question was, what exactly does the finder announce? So the Gemora responded, Simon. I'm sorry, minyan. Let's say that he has to announce minyan. He has to announce the number of items that he found. He mentions that he found shtaros, and he mentions how many that he found. So then the one that lost the items, he has to come along, says Rashi, and give the simon. What's the simon? That they were kruchin, hayu b'yachad. But the minyan is not the simon. If we say like that, then the Gemara has a follow-up question. My area telasa afilu trei nami. If the simon is not the number, and in fact the finder is going to announce how many he found, so why does the Mishnah talk about 3? We could even talk about 2. And he'll announce that he found 2. And that's when the Gemara brought in Ravina. Ela Kadama Ravina.
Okay, but we have this though, the filaturi nami, there's a Rashi on that also. Also, the 2, the filaturi nami, you should also announce. But since the ain srich labalim, because it's not needed for the owners, the tate, a simon, to give a simon, ella rather, krichom, rather that they were wrapped. And again, the wrapping issue is a question of, once things are wrapped, how do you know how many there are that's wrapped up? It could be any number.
No, but according to what we're saying now, the one who finds it is announcing that he found 3 documents.
But if they're wrapped up, how would he know they're 3 documents?
I don't know. Good question, but that's what we're saying.
Well, why?
That's what we're saying. He could tell. He could tell by looking inside. He could tell that there's 3. So he's announcing 3.
That actually was a question that we discussed before, that there were 2 ways of wrapping. One was wrapping one on top of the other, that you really can count how many there were. They're bundled together, but you can count from the outside. They're wrapped up, and you can see there's 3 documents. Or the other way is you can roll them into one. If you roll them into one, that's something totally different, because then you don't know how many are rolled together.
Okay, fine. So we'll say that they were wrapped. They're wrapped in such a way that we could tell how many there are. So the finder is announcing not only what it was that was found, but he's announcing how many was found. So what's left for the claimant to come and give a siman? His whole siman is that they were koruchim zeh b'zeh. They're all bound up together. That's the siman. On that, the Gemora asks, if so then why are we talking about 3? My area telasa, afilu trei nami. The case could have been said just as well with the 2 shtaros that were wrapped up. And that brought us to Ravina. Ravina explains. He says no. Ravina says no. We're not announcing the minyan. What does Ravina say? Kadama Ravina tiva makris. All he's announcing is what it was that he found. Ravina was talking about matbeos. He wasn't talking about shtaros, but it makes no difference. The only thing that he said to announce was that you announced that you found the item itself, but not how many. So that's what Gemora says. Hachanami. So therefore, here as well, shtare machris. He should simply announce that he found documents. Okay, now we have a Rashi.
Okay. We're up to the Ravina one, right? No, the Amar Ravina.
Or afilu trei nami.
We read the afilu trei nami already.
Ein shorik lebailim l'sei simen eluk krinchasan. If what we're saying is right, that the only thing the bailim needs to announce is that they were kruchin. So then, why do we need to have 3? What do we? You could also have 2. Okay, that's the way Rashi explains that question. And now, okay, Kadama Ravina, Shtari Machritz.
Yeah, okay. So, yes. Wait a second. Shtari Machritz. Okay, he announces the documents. Okay, the Ravina says, he says it in Elam Metzios, which is not here, later on. We've got a while to go on that. And it's much later, the Elam Metzios chapter that we're talking about on Chavhei, Amar Aleph. So we're not there where that's mentioned. And what does he announce? He announced Shtari Machritz. He announced Shtaris. Shtarot Matzati. I found these documents. And this one needs Yamase Kach v'Kach Hayu. So and so they were. The Kruchim Hayu. and that they were bound up. Tzrich shomer, he needs hilchach. Therefore, dafka kalta. There must be three. Stay, but if there's only two, miyada yadeya, the me'ut. How it will be known that there were less documents. Miut shtarot, shtayim, that there were the ain minyan siman, and the number of documents is not important.
Right. Rashi is explaining that if he's going to announce documents, I found documents, well, we know that means that's Lashon Rabim. And therefore Rashi says that for somebody to just come along and say, oh, I'll say that two, that's not a siman. A siman is something that indicates that you know something specific about the item because you're the owner. But this is not a siman, says Rashi, if he just says two, after the guy says he found documents, Lashon Rabim, because it's an educated guess that at least he found two of them, and that's what he got. So in that case, it wouldn't be a siman. So what comes out from Rashi is that we need a case of three, because if the person announces documents I found, then if somebody comes along and says, you found three of them, that's what Rashi means when he says, kach v'kach hayu. That's how many there was of them. Kach v'kach hayu. Ukruchim zeh b'zeh. And not only that, am I telling you that there was three of them that I lost, but they were all bound up together. And that whole combination, Rashi is understanding the Gemora is saying that he says the siman, that he says the number of the documents there was, and that they were bound up together. That's going to be the siman that's going to win. But if there would have been two, Rashi says that's not a siman. So even if he would have said two and they're bound up, Rashi is saying that Gemora would say that that's not good enough. That's why the Gemora had to say the case that it said. Okay. So that's that case. Now we move on to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Omer. Okay, Roy, being that Roy is not yet here, we'll go back to Lou.
Okay, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Ben Gamliel Omer, Rabbi Shimon Ben Gamliel says, Echad halove mishlosha. If one found three documents concerning one person who borrowed from three different people, Yachazir lelove kule, he should return them to the borrower, etc. We found three documents, all with the same borrower, presumably different lenders. So we assume that it must have been that the borrower had all three documents and he lost them, so we return it to him. Dei salka daisach de malvin ninahu, that if you should think that the documents maybe belong to the three lenders, my ba'e gabe hadadi, why are they together?
Okay, so that's the Gemora's first stop. First stop is it doesn't make any sense to say that they fell from three different lenders, because if they fell from three different lenders, this one lives over in this house, and this one lives over there, that one's over there, and how did all the documents get to be together? I guess we're learning the case that the documents were all found together in one place. It makes more sense to say that it fell from the one lova. It fell from one person, so who could be the one person that owns all those documents? Is the one that's got his name on every single one of them. That's the lova. Now the Gemara is going to challenge this. Let's read further in the Gemara.
Okay. Dilma, the Kiyuminhu Azle. Maybe they were going to have them certified. In other words, but all three of these lenders went to the court on the same day with their documents because they wanted to have them certified. And once they got to the courthouse, they got bundled together. They got put into the clerk's inbox.
Let's see what Rashi says about this. Dilma likuminu azle.
Wait a second. Let me see where I was up to. Dean, perhaps the Heminu Azle. It was from him that they came. And then it says Etzel, the sofer, a dianim, from the scribe, the judge's scribe. HaKatuv, that's written, a henpek, the certification, l'chol hashtaros, for all of the documents.
Hakotev, he's the one who writes the certification, l'chol hashtaros, on all of the documents that the dayanim are judging on in the Bezdin. Okay, so they're on their way to go to get this to get the henpek written into their document. Okay, so what does that mean? A little bit missing from the story over here. We have to add in a few details.
I don't have to get this.
So they're all going to get the sofer to write the certification on their star. Yeah. And on the way, this is what we have to add, I guess.
Well,
all three of these guys gave their respective star into the hand of one of them and said, "Here, listen, can you take care of this? We got things to do." So the guy reluctantly agrees, I guess, and so what happened? They So, and now that will explain us. That will explain us how it is that all these three documents that belong to three different guys, how they all were found together, because they were lost by I guess, by this guy that was taking them. And so accordingly, we don't have any proof that they necessarily fell from the borrower. And on that, the Gemora answers. Gemora answers the Mekaime. Let's read from there.
The Mekaime. The Mishnah refers to a case in which the documents found were already certified. I guess that means that that they had already left the possession of the scribe.
They didn't fall from this one guy that was holding the three documents of the three lenders.
Right.
He got it to the scribe, and the scribe, yeah.
I was just going to read on.
Yeah, okay.
Doma miyada disafra nafil. Perhaps they fell from the hands of the scribe after he certified them. In other words, he certifies them, and then what's he do with them? He's got to send them back to whoever. Or maybe he's carrying them to the mailroom.
Well, I mean, there's a big point over here. Point is that we're saying that it didn't fall from the one borrower whose name is listed in all three documents. It fell from the scribe. If it fell from the scribe, that means that that the lenders never gave the document to the borrower, because he didn't pay up yet.
Right. So it should be returned to the lenders in that case.
Should be returned to the lenders. On that, the Gemora finally answers that follow-up question as well.
Lo mashchi beneath kiyume diyada de safra. A person does not leave his certified documents in the hand of the scribe.
What's this mean? This means that yeah, what does this mean?
The English says, thus they are not likely to have been lost from the scribe's possession. We should also.
Yeah, but so what? That means it got into the hands of the lenders. But that's the same team. What's the difference? Oh, in other words, like this. Now, if we say it came into the hands of the lenders, right? So that means that each lender took his document and left, right? On his own.
Right.
So now the question that the Gemora originally, the proof the Gemora originally adduced in order to prove that it fell from the Lova is now in place. Now you've got three documents in the hand of three different lenders. And so if so, how did we find all the documents together that must be because the borrower paid off every one of these guys, and then he was given these 3 documents, and they fell from him. We came full circle, in other words.
Right.
The minute that we said that the star we're talking about is certified, then everything fell in place, and we said that it's got to be that if they're all found together, they couldn't have been found all together from the side of the lenders. Only makes sense to say that they fell from the borrower. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay. Everybody have a great day.
See you tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem.
Mitzvah Hashem, all the best.